Hello everyone, I am Jemercy Gonzalez, the little teacher of the Study Hub 5. And now I'm gonna tackle to you the learner-centered psychological principle. Let's start. The 14 learner-centered psychological principles were developed by the American Psychological Association, or the APA, is to guide the teacher, students, and schools in improving their learning process. The principles focus on the needs, interests, and abilities of the learner. They help teachers understand how students learn best so they can create better learning experiences. The 14 principles are like a guide or a set of rules that remind teachers to put students at the center of learning. Instead of just focusing on what the teachers want to teach, they focus on how students think, feel, and learn. This principle aims to understand how students learn, support students emotionally engaged, active learning with positive environment, and prepare students for real life. So the 14 principles are divided into those reference to. They divide it into four types. The first one is the cognitive and metacognitive factor. The second one is the motivational and effective factor. The third one is the developmental and social factor. And the last one is the individual differences factors. So let's begin. The first one is the cognitive and metacognitive factors. These are how students think and learn. And you see to the word cognitive, it's the thinking, understanding, and learning of the students. And the word metacognitive is to being aware of how you think and learn. It's like thinking your own learning. So here in cognitive and metacognitive factors, it have 6 of 14 principles and the number one is the nature of learning process. The nature of learning process is the learning of complex subject matter. It's most effective when it is an international process of constructing meaning from information experience. So here, learning is easier and more effective when students actively try to understand what they are learning by connecting new lessons to their experiences. For example, if you are learning about plants, you will understand better if you actually see plants, touch them, and relate them to what you already know. And the number two is the goals of the learning process. Is the successful learner over time and with support and instructional guidance can create meaningful, coherent representation of knowledge. So in here, the goal of learning is for students to fully understand and make sense of what they are studying. For example, the teacher and classmates help students by giving guidance and support so the students can slowly build a clear and organized knowledge, like learning math step by step with the teacher's help until you can solve problems on your own. Number three, the construction of knowledge. The successful learner can link new information with existing knowledge in meaningful ways. Knowledge widens and deepens as students continue to build links between new information and experiences and their existing knowledge base. So in here, students learn better when they connect new lessons to things they already know. The more you learn, the stronger and deeper your understanding becomes because you're always adding a new ideas to what you already know. For example, learning history step by step helps you see how past events connect and shape the present. And that's all for my report. I hope you understand something about my topic. And now we move to the next reporter and she will discuss it to you her report.
Good day everyone. My name is Sharon Rosti Balam from Group 5 and I am the number 2 reporter. So now I will discussing you the cognitive and metacognitive factors. So I will discuss the number 4, 5 and 6. So let's start. Report strategic thinking. The success learner can create a use of reporter or thinking and reasoning strategies to achieve complex learning goals. Its success learner use strategic thinking in their approach to learning, reasoning, problem solving, and concept learning. They understand and can use a variety of strategy to help them reach learning and performance goals. and to apply their knowledge in novel situations. They also continue to expand their repertoire of strategy by reflecting on their methods they use to see which work well for them, by receiving guidance, instruction, and feedback, and by observing or interacting with appropriate model. Learning outcome can be enhanced in educator, assist learner in developing, applying, and assessing their strategic learning skills. So next, number 5, thinking about thinking. So what is this? Higher order strategy for selecting and monitoring mental operation facilitate creative and critical thinking. In success, learners can reflect on how they think and learn, set reasonable learning or performance goals, select potential appropriate learning strategy or methods, and monitor their progress toward their goals. In addition, successful learners know what to do if a problem occurs or if they are not making sufficient or timely progress towards a goal. They can generate alternative methods to reach their goals or releases the appropriateness and utility of the goal. Instructional methods that focus on helping learners develop this higher order metacognitive, which is the metacognitive strategy, can enhance student learning and personal responsibility for learning. Now we have number 6, learning influenced by environmental factors including culture, technology, and instructional practices. So learning does not occur in a vacuum. Teachers plays a major interactive role with both the learner and the learning environment. Cultural or group influence on students can impact many educationally relevant variables such as motivation, orientation towards learning, and ways of thinking. Technology and instructional practices must be appropriate for learners' level of prior knowledge, cognitive abilities, and their learning and thinking strategy. The classroom environment, particularly the degree to which it is nurturing or not, can also have significant impact on student learning.
Motivational and affective factors. 7. Motivational and emotional influences on learning. Learners' thought, beliefs, goals, and feelings affect how well they are learned. Positive emotions like confidence and curiosity help them focus and process information better, while negative emotions like fear or doubt can block learning. Example: a student who believes they are good at math feels motivated and solves problems with confidence, while one who thinks they will fail avoid trying. 8. Intrinsic motivation to learn. This type of motivation comes from genuine interest and enjoyment of learning, not from rewards or pressure. It happens when tasks are challenging but not too hard, and when students have choice and relevance to their own lives. Example: a student who loves art spends extra time practicing painting because they enjoy it, not because of grades. 9. Effects of motivation on efforts. Motivation drives students to put in the energy and persistence needed to master difficult skills. Without efforts, even talented learners may struggle to progress. Example: a student preparing for a science fair put in a long hours researching and experimenting because they are motivated to present a good project.
Hi everyone! today we're going to explore some really important ideas about how we learn. We'll look at how our personal growth, our interactions with others, and our unique individual traits all play a huge role in making learning effective. We're focusing on three key areas: developmental influences, social influences, and individual differences. So, first up, developmental influences on learning. Learning is most effective when it matches where we are in our growth journey, physically, mentally, emotionally, and socially. Think of it like this: a lesson designed for a 5 years old won't work for a 15 years old, and vice versa. Learning works best when the material is appropriate for our developmental level and when it's presented in an enjoyable and interesting way. We all grow at different rates in different areas, so what works for one person at a certain age might not work for another. Simple example. Imagine trying to teach advanced algebra to a second grader. It just would not make sense, right? But if you teach them basic addition using colorful blocks and fun games, they'll grasp it easily because it matches their developmental stage. Similarly, a teenager might learn best through discussions and problem solving rather than just memorizing facts because their cognitive abilities are more developed. Let's talk about social influences on learning. We are social creatures, and how we interact with others really impact our learning. When we work with classmates, share ideas, and talk things through, we often learn more deeply. Learning gets a big boost when we have opportunities to interact and collaborate with others on tasks. Learning environments that allow for social interactions and that respect everyone's differences encourage us to think more flexibly and develop better social skills. Positive relationships with teachers are and peers built on trust and caring can also increase our sense of belonging and self-esteem, creating a great environment for learning. Think about group projects in class. When you work with others, you hear different ideas, explain your own thoughts, and maybe even teach each other. This kind of teamwork often helps you understand a topic much better than just reading a textbook alone. Also, having a teacher who genuinely cares and classmates you trust makes you feel more comfortable asking questions and participating, which enhance your learning. Finally, we have individual differences in learning. This is all about how each of us is unique. We're born with different strengths and talents, and we also develop our own ways of learning. Some people learn best by seeing things, others by hearing, and some by doing. Good educators understand this and help students examine their learning preferences. They might also encourage students to try new ways of learning, expanding their toolkit for success. Let's say you have two students learning about the solar system. One student might love reading books and writing reports about the planets. Another might prefer watching documentaries, building a model of the solar system, or drawing diagrams. Neither way, it's better they just learn differently. A smart teacher will offer various ways for both students to engage with the material, allowing each to succeed in their own unique way.
So, good morning everyone. I am the Erica Tuayan from PTLHE 1A reporter number 5. So today we're going to tackle about the individual differences factor. Individual differences factor means to refer to the unique characteristic that make each learner different from other in terms of how they learn, think, and behave. So these differences affect the way students process information, stay motivated, and achieve success in learning. So in the individual differences, there are different factors, including the individual differences in learning and learning diversity. Last one is standard assessments. So individual differences in learning is means recognizing that each learner is unique and learn in different unique and ability, etc. TD learning styles. Some learn faster but others need more time and each has a preferred way of learning. To recognize these differences, help teacher create strategies that every student needs making learning more inclusive and effective. And what other one? The learning diversity. Learning diversity means the difference among learners in their abilities, styles, interests, and background. It highlights that students learn in unique ways, and teaching should adjust to meet these needs. And last one, the standard and assessments. So it is means that setting learning goals, standard, and measuring if is achieved that it is his assessment. So that's all. Once again, I am Erika Tuayan, the reporter number 5.
Next, individual differences in learning. Every learner is unique. They differ in talents, abilities, interests, pace of learning, and preferred learning styles. Some students are visual learners, some auditory, while others prefer hands-on practice. Teachers must recognize this difference and provide flexible teaching strategies. Example: in a math class, one student may quickly understand abstract formulas, while another learns better through practical problem solving with real-life examples. The teacher may use both approaches to accommodate both learners. Number 13. Learning and diversity. Even though learners are different, the basic principle of learning, motivation, and effective instruction apply to all. Teachers must respect cultural, linguistic, and personal diversity, but also ensure that every learner gets equal opportunities to succeed. Example: in a multicultural classroom, a teacher uses group activities for students share ideas, learn own language first, then present in English. This respects diversity while ensuring everyone participates in the same learning process. 14. Standard and assessment. Assessment like tests, quizzes, projects, feedback is not just for grading. It helps both teachers and students understand progress, importance, and areas that need improvement. Standards give clear expectation for what students should learn while assessment check how well they meet these standards. Example: a science teacher gives a diagnostic quiz at the start of the unit to see what students already know. Then, during the unit, she gives short quizzes and activities for feedback. And finally, a project at the end to assess mastery. This continuous assessment helps guide instructions and learning. Alexander and Murphy's 5 areas. This is the summary of the 14 principles. First, we have the knowledge base. What learners already know is the foundation of the new learning. Prior knowledge influences how easily new concepts are understood. Example, a student who already knows basic grammar rules will more easily learn to write essays in English compared to the someone who doesn't know sentence structure yet.
Number two, the strategic processing and control. Learners can develop skills to reflect and regulate their thoughts and behaviors in order to learn more effectively. It means students can learn how to think carefully about what they are doing and control their action to improve their learning. It's about planning, checking, and adjusting how you study or solve problems. For example, if you are studying for a test, you need first make a study plan, then while studying, you check if you understand the topic, and if you don't, you change your method like reviewing your notes again or asking for help to help you understand and to get high score on your tests.
Number 3, motivation and affect. Factors such as intrinsic motivation, reason for waiting to learn, personal goals, and enjoyment of learning tasks, all crucial role in the learning process. So what is motivation? Motivation refers to the internal and external factors that drive individuals to behave in certain ways, pursue specific goals, and engage in particular activities. Affect refers to emotional experience or feelings that individuals encounter in response to various stimuli, including people, events, or situations.
So, development and individual differences. Learning is a unique journey for each person because each learner has its own unique combination of a genetic and environmental factors that influence him. Well, that's correct. Because learning is a unique journey for each person, every learner is different because of genetic factors like natural talents and environmental factors like family, school, and community. Development means learner grows physically, intellectually, emotionally, and socially at different rates. While the individual difference means each student has their own way of learning. Some learn better by listening, others by seeing pictures, and others by doing hands-on activities. In short, no two learners are the same. By understanding development and individual differences, teachers can make learning more effective and enjoyable for everyone. So, to wrap it up, learning isn't just one size fits all process. It's a unique journey for each person, our personal development, our social interactions, and our individual differences, all combine to create our own special learning path. Understanding these factors help us create better learning environments and become more effective learners ourselves.
Situation and context means that learning does not happen in certain environment such as in school, at home, learners' own personal experience and background. Learning happens in the context of society as well as within an individual. My reflection, I have learned in this topic the 14 important learner-centered principles that we can use apply when we are teaching. I have realized that every topic in this subject is very important, so that we need to study hard for it, for us to make our job in the future not so hard. As a future educator, I need to apply these 14 learner-centered principles to make my teaching strategy effective, and my students will learn many things from me.